All Saints, Juniors, Maidenhead. Angela, B. 1953. Slipper across unspecified anatomy by male teacher, 1960 to 1964. Joe, B. 1968. Slipper across bottom by male teacher, 1976 to 1979. Blessed Hugh Farringdon, secondary, reading. Cass, B. 1953. Slipper across unspecified anatomy, my female teacher. Sintra, secondary, reading. Marion, B. 1947. Slipper across unspecified anatomy by male teacher. Pam, B. 1949. Slipper across unspecified anatomy by male teacher. Sheila, B. 1952. Slipper across bottom by male teacher, 1964 to 1968. Sue, B. 1952. Tennis racket across leg by female teacher, 1964 to 1968. Linda, B. 1957. Cane across hand by unnamed teacher, 1968 to 1973. Courthouse, primary, Maidenhead. Sarah, B. 1970. Slipper across bottom by unnamed teacher, 1975 to 1981. Ellington, juniors, Maidenhead. Jackie, B. 1950. Slipper across bottom by male teacher, 1957 to 1962. Langley, secondary. Changed name to Langley Wood in 1982. Slough. Tina, B. 1947. Cane across hand by female teacher, 1958 to 1962. June, B. 1950. Cane across hand by unnamed teacher, 1961 to 1965. Josie, B. 1952. Cane across unspecified anatomy by female teacher, 1965. Jennifer, B. 1953. Cane across unspecified by unnamed teacher, 1964 to 1968. Mandy, B. 1959. Cane across hand by female teachers, 1970 to 1975. Joyce, B. 1970. Cane across hand by male teachers, 1982 to 1986. Meadway, secondary, reading. Shirley, B. 1959. Slipper across bottom by male teacher, 1971 to 1975. Carol, B. 1959. Hand across bottom by male teacher, 1970 to 1976. Maria A. B. 1963. Cane across unspecified anatomy by unnamed teacher, 1974 to 1979. Sharon, B. 1963. Cane across unspecified anatomy by female teacher, 1974 to 1975. Allison, B. 1965. Cane across unspecified anatomy by female teacher, 1976 to 1981. Mandy, B. 1965. Cane across unspecified anatomy by female teacher, 1976 to 1981. Debbie, B. 1968. Cane across unspecified anatomy by unnamed teacher, 1979 to 1984. Maria B. B. 1969. Cane across unspecified anatomy by female teacher, 1981 to 1985. Sandhurst, secondary, Sandhurst. Carol, B. 1959. Slipper across bottom by male teacher, 1971 to 1975. Jane, B. 1959. Ruler across bottom by male teacher, 1971 to 1975. St. Bernard's Convent, primary, Slough. Sarah, B. 1964. Slipper across bottom by a nun, 1969 to 1975. Lisa, B. 1964. Slipper across bottom by a nun, 1969 to 1975. St. Crispin's, secondary, Wokingham. Marion, B. 1947. Cane across hands by female teacher, 1958 to 1962. Christine, B. 1948. Cane across hands by unnamed teacher, 1959 to 1963. Sue A. B. 1950. Cane across unspecified anatomy by headmistress, 1961 to 1965. Leslie, B. 1954. Slipper across bottom by male teacher, 1966 to 1969. Sue B. B. 1960. Hand across legs by male teacher, 1971 to 1976. Nicole, B. 1962. Slipper across unspecified anatomy by male teacher, 1973 to 1978. Johnny, B. 1962. Hand across legs by male teacher, 1973 to 1978. Joy, B. 1966. Slipper across unspecified anatomy by male teacher, 1977 to 1982. Lisa, B. 1967. Slipper across unspecified anatomy by male teacher, 1978 to 1983. Sarah, B. 1967. Slipper across unspecified anatomy by male teacher, 1978 to 1983. Jill, B. 1967. Flip-flop across unspecified anatomy by unnamed teacher, 1978 to 1983. Warrenfield, secondary, Slough Pearl, B. 1949. Cane across hands by unnamed teacher, 1960 to 1964. Norma, B. 1951. Cane across hands by unnamed teacher, 1962 to 1966. Leslie, B. 1954. Cane across hands by unnamed teacher, 1965 to 1970. Sandra, B. 1956. Slipper across unspecified anatomy by unnamed teacher, 1967 to 1971. Christine, B. 1956. Cane across hands by unnamed teacher, 1967 to 1971. Julie, B. 1956, cane across hands by unnamed teacher, 1967 to 1972. Brenda, B. 1965, cane across bottom and hands and slipper across unspecified anatomy by unnamed teacher, 1976 to 1981. June, B. 1967, cane across unspecified anatomy by male teacher, 1979 to 1983. Woodside, secondary, Slough. Lee, B. 1956, slipper across unspecified anatomy by female teacher, 1967 to 1972. Penelope, B. 1963, slipper across unspecified anatomy by female teacher, 1974 to 1979. Julia, B. 1969, slipper across unspecified anatomy by male teacher, 1980 to 1985.